Hi, my name is Hans Kruger. This is my case study for EDL 851. Um, the case is about, and the title is A Good Teacher Turns Bad Stress at Home, Creates Problems at School. It outlines a scenario of a teacher affected by stress in her life, life events, her husband leaving, left with two children. Um, and so, in turn, this is negatively impacting her ability to teach and interact with her colleagues. Um, so, it really goes into details about teachers' behaviors, parent complaints, superintendent discussions, and other situations that you definitely might find yourself as a future administrator. Um, it's important that we make challenging decisions. We make sure that we keep in mind the best interest of the student, making sure that we're creating an environment that is safe. We're also empowering educators and enhancing public relations, and hopefully keeping everybody in the building in a positive mindset, moving towards the same goals. What do we know about the case? We do know a little bit about the school, Crestview Elementary. It has 18 teachers, 2 special education teachers, a media specialist, a counselor, and 3 aides. Miss Wilson is a seasoned teacher of 13 years, and at the point this case study kind of comes to a halt is 3 and 4 years into her experience as an administrator. Miss Horton is a seasoned first grade teacher and has previously earned Teacher of the Year. Miss Wilson noticed changes in the attitude behavior in Miss Horton after spring break of her 3rd year at Crestview. Miss Horton became confrontational, argumentative with students and staff. Other staff members shared that Mrs. Horton's husband had left, so other staff members were also noticing changes in Miss Horton as well. The problem identification analysis. What do we know? Intervention seems minimal and late. Miss Wilson waited too long to intervene, I think. The situation left unattended continued to escalate or with very little intervention. Classroom observation without intervention was too little. In year 4, several complaints about Miss Horton were received by Miss Wilson from parents. Even one came through the superintendent. What do we need to know? From the viewpoint of Miss Wilson, has she talked to any students? Has she had discussions with Miss Horton above and beyond what is in the case study notes? If so, what was the timing of these discussions? Also, Miss Wilson, has Miss Wilson talked to any other teachers regarding these issues? Is there any documentation of those discussions? Has any of the staff filed a formal grievance? What is the district's discipline policies for staff? What are the work rules? We need to know kind of the details of the human resources part as well. That way it kind of guides Miss Wilton to resolution with Miss Horton, making sure that we're doing it by the book. Identifying the problem. There's a disruption in the learning process. Miss Horton has affected people around her, not only the teachers, but the students. Parents are becoming frustrated as well. The problem is Miss Horton has had a life-altering event in her personal life, and it's affecting her profession. At least one of the students is so upset. They dislike school, they lose sleep, they cry before school. This is the exact opposite of what reactions we want from our students. So the problem has been left too long with Miss Horton, and it's really impacted the school, the learning environments, teachers, students, and parents. Proposed plan of action. I think it's important that you do things by the book. Intervention should have happened immediately when Miss Wilson noticed changes. Could have started with simple conversation, and if that didn't work, things would have had to been escalated. But it's important that we make sure that we're documenting all of the incidents. Miss Wilson needs to put Miss Horton on a performance improvement plan, if available. the plan could include employee assistance program to help her get through her stressful times in her personal life, and hopefully positively impact her teaching as well. But the plan also needs to include steps that would happen if Miss Horton wasn't showing improvement, if she was resistant to change, things like that. So strategies for implementation: Miss Horton may have to be removed from the classroom until the issues are resolved. If children are that impacted by her behaviors, her attitude, her approach, then it might be necessary to take her out of the classroom. Can the district use can Miss Horton use Family Medical Leave Act for the stress in her life? It is important for Miss Wilson to follow the guidelines that the district has set in place for work rules and documenting every step that she takes to make sure her end is covered. Promoting success of all students. The learning environment is having a negative impact on the students, so it's important that intervention happens quickly. And if she is on a performance improvement plan, that it is monitored closely. If that's by a mentor teacher and the administrator, if that's by a co-teacher, if things need to be changed in the classroom dynamics, it's important. If someone needs to be in that room with her, that is important as well. Students and parents have to trust that administration and teachers have students' best interest in mind, and right now that's not occurring. So the new program that Crestview is trying to pilot could be an excellent opportunity for the students. So having resistance to that takes away the importance. Also, it's important that the staff is working towards the same goal, and if we have people that are going the other direction, that's harmful to the school as a whole as well. So as an administrator, it's important that there's positive staff relations, the learning environment is positive, and then everybody's working towards the same goal. So that's where the relationship building piece comes into play, and ensuring that Ms. Wilson has been building positive relationships with the staff so they can move forward together, I think is important. It is important for the administration to build quality relations, but these also can help the school move forward, but they can also help when problems arise, because it's easier to talk to staff that you've built a relationship with. It's easier to put in interventions if necessary as well. I value the fact that many staff will go through problems while you're an administrator, while you're trying to lead them, and it's important that you help them find resolution, because if you don't, it will have an impact on their instruction and the learning environment of your building. I'm thinking if there was an intervention sooner, this situation may not have escalated to this level, and it could have saved a whole lot of work if things were just done right when there was a notice of change. What things are unresolved, open for further investigation. What type of intervention was Ms. Horton placed on? What intervention is in place for the affected students? Are the students that are not liking school or not liking Ms. Horton's approach? What are we doing about those students? Are they seeing the counselor? Have they been put in other classrooms? Are we finding a long-term sub for Miss Horton while she's on FMLA? Can Miss Horton overcome this and return to her potential? That's very important. That's something we don't know. Promoting academic success for all. Miss Horton has a proven track record of teaching excellence. It's important we get her back on that track. Once again, delaying intervention may have posed a setback and affected some students, and hopefully not affected some students where they dislike education for the long run. So it's important that we get them back on the right track. It's important that administration understands the pulse of the staff and is close to their staff and is seen and visible by their staff, and that they have a good feel for the educational environment because it's important if there is something going wrong or something leaning the wrong direction, that the administrator can put in an intervention to get it back on track. So having that pulse, being seen, being a part of the system is so important, and administrators just can't be locked in their office. Promoting the personal well-being of every student. Counselors must play a role in evaluating the students that were in Ms. Horton's classroom, and what can we do to get them back into the positive light. They have to feel safe in the educational setting, and if that's removing Ms. Horton from the classroom, then that's what has to be done. All the stakeholders must have confidence and trust in the administrators and the entire educational system. Restoring that is number one. So getting those parents confident that you can do your job and that the teachers are doing their job is very important and needs to happen very quickly. Proper interventions, professional development when needed, that has to happen. So making sure that as an administrator, we're putting in those fail-safes. Administrators must have a building of positivity. We have to encourage great relations between teacher and student, teacher and teacher, and administrators have to be innovative and creative in building relationship activities. And all this goes into great instruction. It goes into knowing if something's wrong. And if we can interact as a whole in a positive light, then it's going to lead to good instruction. So that is the case study. Thank you.